the young man who just called LeBron James a hoe.
No.
He's an artist by the name of G Eazy.
You guys are geniuses at the headlines.
You like that?
Yeah. Man.
It's called trolling, sir.
Yep.
Troll. G Eazy.
Shit up, man.
Where are you from, G Eazy? You
Oakland,
can curse.
California.
What part?
Oakland, California, North Oakland, Nepal.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
But that's not why I have you here. Actually, Rosenberg put me on to you. Shout out to Al Branch. And you have E40 on the second song on your album, as you should, sir.
Wow. Yep.
Can you pass me one?
So growing up in Oakland, let's have quick Oakland talk early.
Yeah.
What were your favorite Bay Area rap albums growing up? How old are you first?
I'm 25.
25.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're much younger than myself.
Yep.
But give me some gems. What are some
my
of
ghetto
gems?
report card was like the Bible. You know what I mean? At that time.
Tough. E40
because we got to talk about how Tell Me When to Go landed right on time.
So you're a Keek the Sneak fan?
Yeah,
Which makes you a 3 Times Crazy fan.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bart and everybody out there.
Yep. But Keek and the whole, like, the energy of the hypey movement at that time. And I remember the first time I heard Tell Me When to Go on the radio. And it was like, yes.
This is it.
This is going to be the biggest song in the Bay. The biggest song. I didn't know it would outgrow the Bay and become that big.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
so are you in on this conversation with Mr. FAB? I think it's him and Mustard, where people are saying this DJ Mustard sound is really just hyphy knockoff. Like, where you at on that?
I mean, I see both sides, man. And I watched y'all's interview with them. You know, and I watched the Sage Gemini interview. And I just feel like it is one coast. You know what I mean? It is like, it's great that California is super hot right now. Super hot. You know what I mean? And it's great because it's like 95 to 100 beats per minute. You know, was the mid 2000s when Tell Me When to Go hit.
Okay.
And we were like, yo, our sound is on a national level. When we saw Tell Me When to Go on 106 in Park,
when Kanye
and they messed up
that,
Keek's name.
Yo, but Kanye jumped on that, and then Cube jumped on that.
It was like, you know, and then the Van song hit, and my homies The Pack that I had grown up with, when Wayne jumped on that, you know, and the hyphy was like, yo, like, we're next. And then it didn't happen.
Right.
But that sound never went away.
True.
You know, it never went away. It was still regionally like our shit.
But do you, and this is where I'm at with it, because I do agree with Mustard, because Lil Jon did have some of that, and what Mustard's doing is heavy bass lines, and heavy bass lines is definitely associated with G-Funk, funk music, and something that LA did before, the Bay has done before. Like, it was definitely funk music was a part of West Coast culture for a long time. So I see where, because a lot of people don't know, Northern California and Southern California are very different.
Very different. It's almost 2 states.
It is 2 states.
But at the same time, it's like, I remember when I first started, one of the first times I went down to LA, like, just to, you know what I mean, like just to party, kick it, hunt, whatever. And I was maybe like 19, and they were playing all the hyphy stuff. And that was right before the Jerk thing took off, and that was real similar to hyphy.
Yes, it was.
So it's really just like a relatively similar, you know what I mean? Like it became LA's take on something. Okay. And it was just like,
the Bay and LA are related.
They're cousins.
They're definitely cousins, and they've, you know what I mean? They've had
problems.
They've definitely had their problems.
Now, people don't talk about this, but E40 with slang, with the shizzles and the izzles and the easies and all of that, was a Bay Area thing. And Snoop came along and started doing the shizzles and the izzles, because really that comes from the Double Dutch Bus. I'm showing my age, and Parliament doing slang and all of that. Once again, comes from funk.
Yeah,
which is from Ohio. Let's be specific. But you know, there was some riff. There was like, yo, they taking 40 slang, balling and shot calling, right? That when the Benjamins hit in the Bay Area, we thought Puffy took our slang. When it was at the Gavin convention, a lot of cats was out in the Bay, and that record was moving around the Benjamins, right? And they was saying about shot calling and big balling and being and having a PhD, a player hater degree. Shout to the Loonies. All of that is Bay Area slang.
Wow.
And cats in the Bay have always
We've always felt like a chip on our shoulder,
man,
you know what I mean?
Yo, man,
he took my shit.
Well,
man.
I think the Bay has a chip on its shoulder because it's such a thriving, amazing hip hop scene. So much unique stuff that people then take elsewhere. However, it lacks nationally the catalog of iconic albums.
True.
So like, y'all never got the due. Like, okay, well, you have The Chronic. You have Enter the Wu-Tang.
Right.
There's great Too Short albums, great Hyrule albums, great 40 albums, but they didn't quite nationally reach that same acclaim.
Well, that's what we're saying is like when we were so hot in the mid 2000s and it was like the door was wide open.
Who did any of
you had My Ghetto Report Card, which was, you know what I mean, like I said,
but here's what
classic,
happened.
But you know what I mean, Keek didn't drop his album.
But here's what happened.
You know what I mean?
What happened.
Like,
and people don't necessarily know this because it's industry talk. In the early 90s, okay, in the Bay Area, you had a regional office for all of the major record labels, which is why Souls of Mischief got a deal, which is why Sick With It Records got their own deal, which is why a lot of things came out of the Bay Area because there were regional record companies there to do it. Even though the Bay Area is known as independent music scene to the fullest.
Right.
Like Born to Mac Too Short in 1985 was sold out of a trunk. Before
trunk.
anybody was doing independent music like that.
There's entertainment.
But when the record scene and the selling of music started to fall apart in the late 90s, those regional offices closed. So in early 2000s, what you're pointing to, when the hyphy movement started, there was no regional people there signing and cultivating the business aspect of the music, right? So you had these people making some great music that had a movement and the whole scene was into it, but nobody was there to cultivate the marketing aspects of it and the business aspects to take it to another level. Look, Atlanta's popping right now. The way it is LaFace. L.A. Reid made it his job to open up offices in Atlanta that brought us TLC, Outkast, Tony Braxton, and major things that now created that scene. Jermaine Dupri, shout out to him as well. You see what I'm saying? So there's pieces of it that are missing. And now here you are out of Oakland, California.
Man, I'm just trying to do it.
And you're signed to whom?
Oh man, I'm distributed by Red.
Okay.
And we're just figuring everything out.
So you're technically independent and you're using a distribution company to get
something
the word
like that. Yeah, I got a partnership with Blueprint Group. That's on the management side, but the industry is the industry. That's G Roberson and Tez, Cortez Bryant, Al Branch, and them.
Oh, big names. That's Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne family.
Just drop.
He's just dropping names, just falling out your pocket.
Well, he opened up for Wayne when you went to it, right?
Yeah, I opened up for them last summer on the Wayne T.I. 2 Chainz joint.
The girls like you, I'm told. A couple of girls running around here picking their mouths up off the floor.
I'm just
Laura Styles is trying to play
man.
cool.
I'm just trying to be Elvis.
I knew you were going to bring this up. Listen, I said you were very handsome.
Yeah,
thank you.
Talk about it.
Yeah, I just said he was very
Keep
handsome.
talking
That's it.
Talk about
Let's talk about his album.
No. We're on his looks right now.
No.
Let's talk about.
And I don't want you to glaze past a comment he just made that's going to transition in what Rosenberg wants to bring up.
What was it?
He called himself Elvis.
No, I didn't call myself Elvis.
You say you're trying to be Elvis.
I'm trying to be Elvis. Hey, I was taught if you aim for the stars, you might land on a cloud.
But Elvis, you bring up Elvis, it brings up a topic that Rosenberg has had some commentary on recently.
What, the article in the Daily News today, of which you're featured
I haven't read
in.
it yet. Yeah, but they were telling me about it in the lobby.
So
I'm so on the, you know what I mean, with the press stuff and the now seeing the reviews of my album. You know what I mean? It's like on one hand, I can't even like. You know what I mean? I want to know what people think. It's like I put so much work into this music. You want to read every review. But then it's like, sometimes it's like when people don't get it or they take an angle you don't like or something like that, it's like, yo, I can't even bother myself.
Well,
like, I won't even read it.
You have the interesting thing about you from a racial standpoint, which is what the article's about, is that
I'm purple.
Is that you're purple?
I'm a one of a kind.
Is that looks wise, not upbringing? Because if you check out the interview I did with him on Real Late, his upbringing is not all roses and wonderful. However, looks wise, you're as white bread a rapper as we've maybe ever had. I mean, I'm being
more than Macklemore.
I mean, let me tell you one thing. Macklemore does a lot of things. Macklemore doesn't have, look at that comb job, son. That is white. That's good white hair. Right
that's
there.
pretty perfect.
That is perfect.
It's just a whole lot of slick. It's just a whole lot of slick.
Talk about the product.
It's no product. I just never wash my hair, man. I just get out of bed.
Let it grease
real. It's real greasy. I just drag a comb across it, and I'm just like swag lord.
So great.
Do you feel funny? I mean, this is something I've talked about with Macklemore. A lot of people accuse him of, like, you know, having too much white guilt, although I think white guilt is appropriate as a white person. But do you ever feel weird about if you have a very strong white following, which appears you do? All kinds of people like you, obviously, but you have a lot of white people fucking with you and white girls and all kinds of girls, actually, particularly.
Just girls.
Yeah,
just
girls fuck with you generally. But
babes.
let's say you did have a predominantly white audience. Does any of you feel some type of way about that?
Absolutely.
Talk about that. How does it make you feel?
Absolutely, man. I mean, here's the thing.
It's reverse racism. Say it. Just say it.
It is straight up. And growing up, you know, just here's the thing. From when I was 14 years old or 13 or whenever I started rapping, it clicked in my head that, and even though the music sucked, I mean, this was not like the first rap I wrote was, you know what I mean, Jadakiss. Yeah. I was like, the first rap I wrote sucked.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but from day one, I was like, if I'm going to do this, think big. You know what I mean? I want to go as far as I can go. And like I was just saying, if you aim for the stars, whether you land on the moon, whether you land on a cloud, whether you land 10 feet in the air, whatever, you swing for the fences. You know what I mean? And thinking big and just, you know what I mean? I never wanted this to be a white thing. You know what I mean? Like a all white audience. Like that's not. That's
not just say that's not what people fell in love with hip hop for.
That's it.
And you could talk to anybody that fell in love with hip hop, where they grew up in New York, where they grew up on Mars. Hip hop was the music that everyone loved to party to, no matter your background. And then it was freedom of speech. It felt raw. It felt all these things, and that's probably why you fell in love with it. And and in the Bay Area, it's very multicultural, right?
Very. I mean, the Bay, like growing up there, is one of the biggest melting pots, you know what I mean, in the world. Like any classroom I'm in growing up, it's like, you know what I mean, literally the most diverse. Like you got 10 black kids,
you go to?
10 white kids, John Muir in Berkeley.
Yeah, I went to Thousand Oaks.
That's what's out.
Yo, I went to school. It was Rastas in my class, Orthodox Jews, Muslims.
Literally,
no, not kidding. Like literal
Samoans,
everything. Everything.
Yeah, but it's like. I never wanted it to be just like a, you know, like it's not where I ever, you know, saw this going.
So do you feel sad like when you look at your art? I mean, obviously you don't feel sad.
I don't feel sad because at the end of the day, man, it's like this music is what I fell in love with, and I was lucky because I fell in love with it and started practicing at a young enough age. So by the time I had to hit the ground running, the music was starting to take off, and I can pay my bills from music. That's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? I'm not taking care of moms yet. I'm not like, mama, we made it. You know what I mean? I'm not pulling up in a new car, getting her a place yet. But I'm like, at the end of the day, this is a hustle, and I'm eating off of rap music, and that's a beautiful thing because this is just a creative form. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, there's no shame in my game in that I'm getting by doing something creative, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like I'm forever grateful to be in this place. But then it's a constant thing of like everything is relative, and wherever you get, you know what I mean? It's like things change and your perspective changes, and there's always, you know what I mean, the values and all that. So it's like big picture, you know, this mountain is really big.
I think look, people, this is hip hop first of all, and when Iggy Azalea came by here, we tested her. T.I. had an issue with it. He would come in and we asked her straight up, is this a gimmick? Is this an act? What is this? And she was very transparent about it. She is hustling. She wanted to be a performer. She loved hip hop. She's not trying to be the hardest MC out. She's putting on a show, right? That's what she's doing.
At the end of the day, like you can only be yourself.
But you're coming at this as an MC though. You're coming at this as somebody who is true to the culture. You're not
but I'm never gonna be Jadakiss.
Right.
I'm never gonna be Nas or Big L. You know what I mean? You gotta know your role. Like that doesn't mean I don't, you know what I mean, strive to go hard on every song. That's the competitiveness of it. Like when I was growing up, it was like it was me and like our whole crew, and we would all, you know what I mean, it was kind of like a group thing. And when you wrote raps, you wanted to eat everybody else, you know what I mean? You wanted to go harder than everybody. You wanted to have the hottest verse. But some people are really just born with a gift. You know what I mean? Some people in this game are just so talented and so innately just like,
are you talking about yourself right now?
No, the opposite. It's the opposite. You know what I mean?
Like, you have to be around Wayne.
Yeah, like Wayne
Wayne's a freak. Like,
yo, some of them are freaks. Like literally so good at rapping, it makes me mad and jealous. You know what I mean? Like, God, like you're so good. You're so fucking good at rapping. You know what I mean? And it's like,
who do you think of like that? You mentioned Jadakiss's name a couple times. Who else you think of?
I mean, Big L. You know. Nas is like my favorite of all time. Like, here's the thing, like I grew up in the Bay and obviously in love with our local culture, as much pride as you have growing up in the Bay.
You listen to that.
But at the same time, you know what I mean? At the same time, I rode that AC Transit bus looking out the window, listening to Tribe Called Quest, listening to Illmatic, imagining, you know what I mean, if I close my eyes, like looking out the window, what New York City was like. Yeah. You know what I mean? And just having this idea of New York from a Cali perspective and all the East Coast hip hop.
And you know, it's interesting too. A lot of people think that in other regions of the United States that hip hop is only about that sound, right? But when you go around New York, you hear people who are Tupac fans. Yeah. They want to hear Hit 'Em Up. They want to hear, you know, Machiavelli album. They want to hear album cuts. They want to hear all this Tupac, right? Yeah. And they're in love with it. But same thing growing up in the Bay, right? Yeah. People want to hear everything from everywhere. Yeah. You want to hear the Ghetto Boys. You want to hear, you want to hear 2 Live Crew. You want to hear everything going on from everywhere.
But you have to speak past NZ, bro, because update, we're old. So he is rare in that he's young and was doing the diligence.
Yeah, but I think there's young people that do it.
There are.
There's young
people
that
every
do
kid.
it. Well, no, the problem that we have now is as elder statesmen in the game, we don't necessarily require you to have done your homework in hip hop like it used to. For you to be a DJ coming up, Rosenberg, you had to know your records.
I know. Well, here's the thing, Ebro. I've never even heard a Public Enemy song. You know, I don't even know.
Stop.
Well, I didn't know.
Stop, man. Don't play into that.
I'm mocking people who think that we didn't do the research. Obviously, we have. But you're right. A lot of the kids haven't necessarily done all the diligence.
I know, but now with the power of the internet, everybody
so easy to
access to everything. So.
I know. You have no excuse not to. You can literally just hit Google. Public Enemy.
You could just type in 90s hip hop.
Get a mix.
Spotify, 90s hip hop essentials.
Yeah, that works. That actually pretty.
Download like the Matrix. We used to have to plug in.
We used to have to go to Amoeba and literally.
Amoeba, shouts out Amoeba, shouts out Rasputin.
Virgin Records.
Rasputin still around?
Yeah, man, I'm doing a signing there this week. I can't wait. You know how they have the albums on the side.
What about
Leopold's?
Is Leopold's still there?
Is Leopold's?
That was in Berkeley. You used to have to go downstairs, and they used to have the parties downstairs.
Real quick, by the way, when G Eazy was just talking about riding the train, listening to Nas, Tribe Called Quest, I looked over at Laura. And for a second, I didn't hear his words. I saw the little birds floating above his head.
Stars in the eyes.
Never. What are you talking about? I'm listening to him. That's
just
it.
Listening to talk about hip hop.
Were you tiptoeing through tulips while he was talking?
No. Tiptoeing through tulips? What are you talking about? You guys are being embarrassing.
She's
stop
like,
it.
I'm a B girl. You're a B boy.
Yeah, stop it. Stop it right now. Stop it.
Y'all want to go breakdance later?
No,
what are you doing later?
No, I'm fine.
Graffiti?
I'm breakdancing with you. Man, we're setting up the. We're out there on the corner, bro, with the cardboard.
You want to seal the deal? Are you into tattoos?
Nah.
No tattoos.
Loser.
No tattoos. I'm a loser.
It's okay.
I don't have any.
Me neither.
I'm a square.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah, straight up.
So, G Eazy, what else on this album that we should be paying attention to?
He produced a lot on this album. I saw that.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I can't remember if I started rapping or producing first. It was around the same time. But I've always been slightly... It goes back and forth, but slightly more into the production world and just the sound and sonics, you know, of music. And just
I like what you're saying.
I used to produce all my own tracks, and on this album, I wanted to take a little bit of a back seat, and I co-produced the whole thing with a good friend, Christoph Anderson, who's much more talented than I am and knows music really. I can't sit at a piano and really play, you know, but he can. But still being involved in crafting the sound and co-producing everything, and you know what I mean, having my hands on it, and just I feel like it's important for an album to flow consistently and have a feel to it. You know what I mean? Not just to feel like a playlist or a greatest hit CD with a bunch of producers just throwing attempts at singles.
You're talking like Dr.
You know what
Dre
I mean?
right now.
Yeah, that's that album truly 2001 inspired me to take albums seriously, and this album is kind of in a way, this is a trip, but this is finally me getting close to that goal of creating something consistent that flows from track 1 to 16, that paints a picture, and the sound is there. You know what I mean?
So
it's no 2001.
I'm trying to let people know that you take your craft serious.
Oh man, I live for this. I lose sleep over this. You know what I mean? It took me forever just to walk away from the album and say it's done. Here's the thing, you can work on something forever, especially like a creative, like you could paint that Mona Lisa and carry it with you for your whole life and never say it's done. But at the end of the day, real artists ship. You have to give this to the world. And that was the hardest thing for me, is knowing when to say it was done. You know what I mean? Like, just to keep working and keep
Did you do that, or did somebody walk in the studio like people have done with many artists and be like, okay, you're finished, like they do with Kanye West. Yeah. You're done. Turn it in.
Nah, it was all, you know, a lot of it is timing, man. And it's just, this is dope.
Ebro, by the way, currently it is the #2 album in America right now.
#1 hip hop, yeah.
Yeah,
that's on just like physical sales, digital. Break it down for me. What are we talking about? How's it work,
man?
I'm
iTunes.
lost. I don't even know anymore.
How it works is the label guy just held me his iPhone. It said #2 album in the country.
But you don't know where.
I'm guessing if you looked on iTunes.
iTunes.
Yeah,
All right, we like iTunes.
Where's Ab-Soul now? That's a big day. You have These Things Happen. He drops These Days. Both today. Good day for
These is just hella popping.
These is ringing right
These
now.
is ringing, man.
West Coast
These days, These Things Happen.
That collab album, y'all just sandwich it together.
Oh man.
You have ASAP Ferg on this album.
Yeah.
For the fans of the mob. You also have a song called Tumblr Girls. Talk more about that to me.
That's about those girls that show up at the shows.
I mean,
the pretty girls from Soho.
Listen,
Hold back now.
I saw the video for is it These Things Happen, where he's like signing major butt cheeks and boobs all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of butt
There's
cheeks?
a lot of that.
Yeah, signing a lot of butt cheeks, a lot of titties, you know.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Why you change your voice? You starting to sound creepy.
You hear that? Yeah, you know.
That's me getting into my that's me getting into I'm talking to the girls in Soho that like to listen to my music and like to party and do drugs. Nah, Tumblr is just like girls that, fucking just sit around on the internet all day just looking at cool pictures and Pinterest and shit and just look at, you know what I mean, like live vicariously through this internet world and then spend all night out, you know what I mean, partying into the daylight. You feel me? You got what I mean?
Well, G Eazy, I got news for you. I'm opening up the album artwork here.
Let me see. Talk about it.
Yeah, you're gonna be a movie star.
Why? What's he doing in
here? Yeah, just open that up. Go ahead. You see what's happening. First, look at the cover. Then he takes his jacket off.
Oh, then the girl's getting naked.
And then now he's on the bed.
Oh, and then she's naked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mike, where's
at some loft in Soho, just like you said.
At some loft in Soho.
Do you do drugs?
Yeah.
Here and there? I mean, listen, everybody's
here
doing
there,
something.
Bro.
Some people do prescription drugs and they'll sit up here and tell you they're not doing drugs and they're out here popping pills every day.
Nah, man, here's the thing. It's like at the end of the day, like I'm in my 20s. I'm on a roller coaster right now, and this life is crazy. Absolutely. I'm from the Bay. Nah.
Molly?
I pop a thizzle this morning, you feel me? I came here rolling, you feel me?
No, you didn't. Stop.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
What's a thizzle?
A thizzle, I thought was ecstasy. Wasn't that like an ecstasy tab?
Yeah. It's crazy that like in the Bay, the whole Thiz culture was like ecstasy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That was long ass
and that was pre-Molly.
Oh yeah.
That was
early
pre-Molly. Like,
probably,
here's the thing, it saddens me, bro. Like
we don't want to be proud of that. Let's not be proud
that
we fathered this Molly culture.
Hey, but if Mac J, like, it's crazy. He was, you know what I mean? Like,
he was off that heavy.
Yeah, but if he was just like getting so hot, right? You know what I mean? Like, his moment was just right there. And he just, you know what I mean? Like, he left us with so much music, but it's like, who knows where that would be? You know what I mean?
What did we not cover from him?
I don't know. We covered a lot of ground.
Hella ground.
Hella ground.
Hella ground,
Hella ground has been covered.
Hella ground has been covered.
I mean, we know. Are you touring right now again?
I mean, it's kind of like a never-ending tour. We just got back from Europe. Hallelujah to that.
Chicks love you out there too. Let me guess.
Hey, it's no joke, man. It's like crazy.
You don't
These
have
girls
like,
in Paris.
He could be like Harry Connick. He looks Harry Connick Jr.
You want to act? Would you want to?
I want to be DiCaprio, straight up.
So you want to act too?
I want to be DiCaprio.
This guy's out of here.
DiCaprio doesn't rap though, unless you wanted to take my old rap name, Leonardo DiCaprio.
I think we end the interview on that. That should be
that was amazing. That was amazing.
I used to say that, but you could have it.
That was really brilliant.
Wait, do you have an alias?
Young Gerald.
Young Gerald?
I think you should probably take that Leonardo DiCaprio.
I think Leonardo DiCaprio is definitely way tighter.
Watch this. Cheers.
That's how you.
Wow.
It's on the arm.
Hit me with the arm tap.
Yo, if we play any record off here, what do you want us to lead with right now? What's the talk?
Either Far Alone, I Mean It, or A Lot of That.
I need one.
All right. Well, you can have all three.
I can only play one.
All right,
somebody tell me a record to play. I mean it.
I mean it.
Yeah.
Inga says.
Boom, we doing that. Featuring Remo. Who's that?
Yeah, just a homie.
I
mean, the thing
so
is,
you
the
put some of your friends in the
outside of Ferg, who I've known for a long time, and 40 obviously, which is
Gotta
such
do
a
it.
moment. You know what I mean?
Has
Outside
to
of that,
happen.
there's no real features on here
Yeah,
because
true.
it's like this album to everybody else came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? I've been building this organically from the ground for the last 10 years. But to everyone else, like, I can't just reach out to an A-list rapper and be like, yo, I need a verse. They're like, who?
Well, before we go, you chased your dream. What did your mother want you to do?
She wanted me to chase my dream. She's an
Straight
artist.
up. Oh,
She's
your mother's an artist too.
Yeah,
What does she do?
Yeah. She's a photographer and a printmaker. And, you know, she saw the fire in me from right away. And she was just like, if a kid is this in love with a craft, go.
That's so hippie Bay Area.
So hippie, so hippie.
Bay Area.
Meanwhile, she's smoking her joint and she's like, I'm so proud of you.
Yo, G Eazy.
Cheers.
Good luck, bro.
Thank you.
These
Get the
things
album.
happen.
These
Yeah,
things
go get
happen.
the album.